Now I'm curious, as yourself as a music video, are you an enthusiast of music videos and stuff? Like, do you like watching other people ones that you haven't produced and stuff, or do you just kind of keep your? Hold on. So the reason I ask is because, like, sometimes I don't like, especially in your industry where you're like your colleagues, because a lot of the you work with some big artists, so like these your colleagues are also likely working with other artists and stuff. So on that level, like, I don't love listening to the stuff that my colleagues are doing, because like you immediately compare yourself to them. So I'm curious, are you like able to get past that, or do you love watching the other stuff?
I don't love watching music videos as much as I used to. I will say that.
I
I
understand that.
love making them still. I think it's one of the most pure forms of art out there.
Wow.
Because essentially, unlike
I love it, man. My dog, I love it. It's all good.
so there's some package being delivered. She's
Oh yeah,
making sure everyone knows.
absolutely. What's her name?
This is Xena. That's a
Xena.
warrior princess. Yeah.
She is very cute, man.
But sorry, what was I saying?
You don't love watching music videos. Oh, but they're the purest
Oh.
form of art.
Yeah. So I think music videos are the purest form of art because, unlike a commercial, there's not an agency or a creative director like, this is the spot we're doing, and coming in with a storyboard where it's like, this is shot A, this is shot B. Music videos are almost like short films sometimes, where it's like you just because the labels, they never really give you enough time to either prep or finish or whatever. Like you're always, your back's against the wall. You don't have enough money for what you want to do, and you have these high expectations. And like, that's making music videos. It's like, with all those three things, what's the best video you can make?
Yeah.
Right. So in that, like, a lot of things that you're just kind of throwing things against the wall, or you're trying things, or you're running with your pants on fire sometimes, right?
Sure.
But to me, that's where like true creativity, like, comes out of a director and out of the full team. Is problem solving. So I love music videos, but
Yeah.
that being said, I don't watch as many as I used to. When we were first getting started, like, Vivo was like a thing on the Apple TV, and I would just have that on nonstop. Or as a kid, I would watch, MTV making the video, whatever that show was, and see guys like Joseph Kahn like doing a Blink-182 video.
Yeah,
Just, like,
yeah,
my
yeah,
mind was
yeah.
blown. So I do enjoy them, and I do watch, people that I work with video, and because you want to stay in touch and
Sure.
congratulate them on their success. But I definitely don't love music videos or even music as much as I used to. But I think it's a give and take. Is like,
Sure.
I think there's like a toll to pay when you're working with your passion.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
When I was at the NFL, like, football was my life growing up. When I was there, like, I probably checked out of the NFL, like, from actually watching the games. Of course, I still stayed in touch with it, but like, if you were to ask me any stat, like,
Yeah.
over the past 30 years, there's this weird like 5-year gray area where, like, I don't know what happened when I was working there, like, because I just didn't care as much. I wasn't a fan, and I think working at the NFL like drove my passion for the music video industry, right? And now that, like, I'm in the music video industry, like, my love for the NFL is back. So it's like, I think following your passions, like, when it becomes work, like, it doesn't, like, you don't immediately like hate it or anything like
No,
that.
I
But
very much
it's
understand. There's a
different.
price to pay.
Everything becomes work, no matter
And
how cool of a job
And
it
you're
is.
in the middle of it, so you see all the things that you would just appreciate from the outside. Now you're like in the nitty gritty, be like, oh wow, this is what it looks like on the inside of this, huh?
Yeah, and I used to be really bad where, like, because you're constantly writing treatments, like, as a music video director, like, it's almost like a batting average. Like, you're gonna strike out way more than you win. Right?
What is a treatment?
Just where the artist will come to you with a brief of like the budget
Okay.
and what they want. They're not only coming to you, right? So they'll come to, say it's 5 directors, say it's 10
Okay.
directors, say it's 100
Wow.
directors, right? And that's where it's really competitive. And that's where I was saying earlier, where I wrote for years without ever winning.
I see what you mean. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so it's almost like a batting average, of just, I forget what I was saying now. What were we talking about? Sorry.
It's all good, man. You were mentioning that, like, just the you being on the inside of the industry and
Oh, I know what I was saying, is that because you get all these songs and these tracks that you write these creative concepts to, and for me, I'm listening to them like hundreds of times.
Sure.
Where where so if I'm not listening to those songs, I feel like I'm like if I'm listening to my own personal playlist, right? I almost feel like I'm like cheating on
That's really interesting.
the job that I'm supposed to be working on. So people are like, what are you listening to? I'm like, whatever I'm writing on, like
That's
nonstop,
really
right?
interesting.
And then what happens too is that you write a treatment and you like fall in love with the song and the concept that you're gonna bring to the artist and like maybe it has a shot and then it doesn't work out and then you're 6 months later you're grocery shopping and you hear the song you're like fuck this song. Like, it's almost like an ex-girlfriend, so it's like
Yeah, I can totally understand that. That's funny, man.
so it's like, yeah, I like that song when I was writing for it,
Yeah.
but now, the song sucks. Whatever. And maybe that's just me being competitive, whatever. But.
No, I think that is a very understandable feeling, man. I think most people would feel that way. That is funny, and it's just things you would never think about. People just like don't realize that stuff, and it's just little idiosyncrasies within the industry. I love that.